All right, well, back to the uncomfortable moments that are unfolding over Syria at the G20, which is right in St. Petersburg, Russia. So that even the location is a very tense spot in this terms in what we're going through right now, because Putin has, of course, sent missile defense technology to the Assad regime in the past. And just a day before President Obama's arrival, the Russian leader was suggesting that a U.S. military strike without UN approval, which, of course, we won't get because of Russia, is something that he has, quote, plans to deal with, whatever that means. KT McFarland, Fox News national security analyst, and Ralph Peters is a Fox News strategic analyst. Good to have both of you with us today. KT, let me start with you. How do you think this is going to go when Vladimir Putin and President Obama have a little more time together than just the handshake we just saw?
Oh, I think Putin's been dancing around Obama for the last 5 years. I think he's going to continue to do so. The conversation that President Obama should have with him, though, is say, look, let's not talk about Syria. Let's not talk about missile shields. Let's talk about Russia's economic future. Russia, you need to export oil and natural gas. You need Western technology to develop new oil fields in eastern Siberia. You need Western technology to build the new liquefied natural gas plant. You also need foreign investment if you're going to do any of these things. We really control those. And if you want our help, if you want to have economic prosperity in the years ahead, let's find a way to work together on a lot of these issues. Because guess what, Mr. Putin? If not, you're looking at economic ruin, the same way that the Soviet Union collapsed because the price of oil collapsed. Without those oil and natural gas exports, you're broke. Yeah. And you know what? We're going to even do one more on you. We're going to go into that business ourselves. We're going to become your biggest competitors.
It's an interesting argument. I mean, you know, to take it to the big picture and the big level of U.S. economic dominance and Western economic dominance, they're having very tough times in many ways in Russia, and they love to bluster and, you know, talk the big story, but they've got some complicated economic situations going on there. Ralph?
Well, today, for now, Russia's in better economic shape than we are. They're not running these huge deficits. But, you know, I look at this, and the world's topsy-turvy. We have, the world is on, today, the world is on Vladimir Putin's side about Syria. The world doesn't want us to go in. Vladimir Putin, he's a thug, but he's defending the Christians and other minorities in Syria. And President Obama essentially is willing to provide U.S. armed forces power, air power, cruise missiles, in what amounts to support of al-Qaeda. It's a crazy world. Obama hasn't thought it through, and I don't like Putin, but I respect that guy. He is tough. He delivers what he says he'll deliver. He knows his people. He presents himself as a real he-man, a nastoyashi mujik, but he lives up to it. Our president talks tough, but in the clinch, he's gutless.
Wow. Is he right, KT?
I think he's absolutely right. The best example of that was there was a G8 summit in Dublin in the spring, and both Obama and Putin wanted to use the gym at the same time. And they apparently couldn't share the gym. As you can see, they don't get along very well. And so Obama got first dibs on the gym. Well, you know what Putin did to one-up? He said to the photographers in the press corps, follow me. He went to an icy Dublin lake, ripped off his shirt, and proceeded to do the breaststroke, so that the pictures on the front page of all the European newspapers were of the muscular, tough he-man Putin, and there were no pictures of Obama in the gym shorts.
You know, you go back to the moment that we all remember when you look back at the relationship between the United States and Russia, and the president leaning over to Medvedev and saying, look, after my election, I'm going to have a little more flexibility on this missile defense thing, because we know, and there's a picture from it, we know that you guys are not comfortable with some of the missile defense operations that we want to deploy for our friends in Eastern Europe. And then you look at the fact that Syria is, you know, deploying missile defense technology to Syria. And Ralph, you know, it looks like we're getting walked all over in that venue as well.
Sure, because again, Putin will live up to what he says. If we destroy Syrian military technology, Putin will replace it. I mean, let me put the relationship in everyday perspective for you. Putin is a classic, sadistic schoolyard bully. And Obama's the geeky kid with the thick glasses and the arm full of books. And Putin enjoys beating on Obama, and Obama will always give up the lunch money. Always. But let me just, there's a very, very short poem by A.E. Housman that just nails this. The Russian bear is huge and wild. It has devoured the infant child. The infant child is not aware. It has been eaten by the bear. There you have Putin and Obama.
Well, we shall see. The president has said that Putin's the bored schoolboy in the back of the room. So the school analogies are flying all around this situation. And so much of this is going to come down to really, I think, the American people's perception of who is on the other side here. And I know, Ralph, you believe that it's primarily al-Qaeda. John McCain argues that it is not, and there are some very disturbing images on the front of the New York Times this morning and going around the internet that are going to play into the public opinion on this as well. KT, thank you so much. And Ralph, thank you for the poem. And thank you for your insight this morning.
Always
bringing a
poems for you,
special little
Gal.
flavor to America's newsroom, which we do appreciate, sir. Thanks a lot. We'll see you both soon.
Putting the kids to